Before I go, why don't we have the newcomers show us who we are? Dayton pitched. Foreign, Luna, and Dusk, what did you write this week? Dusk admittedly liked Dayton's forwardness, although Luna looked quite a bit nervous, and Foreign looked on her face that appeared to perhaps be a bit peeved. We didn't really write anything this week, to be honest, Foreign admitted. Well, that's too bad. I guess we all have writer's block every once in a while, but I'm pretty sure you'll make up for lost time, Dawn replied. I mean, we all have working jobs every day, on top of trying to come up with new strategies to promote our album and single. It's not like we're just sitting around, Foreign assured, her tone a bit defensive. Well, that makes sense, Dawn dismissively answered. Personally, I wrote a rock song about one of my exes. The lyric is, I'm the most proud of, I wasted my time with your lies, so leaving your sorry ass shouldn't be a surprise. Dusk was actually quite impressed by Dawn's punchy lyrics. This was a girl who clearly wasn't afraid to speak her mind, and Dusk admired it. Even though it wasn't too extreme, she saw that a bit of quality in herself admittedly. Wait, you skipped me, Dayton protested semi-playfully. I also wrote a pop song about the worst breakup I've ever had in high school. I'm still fine-tuning in the details, but I think it's just going to be amazing when I'm done. I write hip-hop songs, and I wrote pretty boss-ass tune this week. It starts like this, Brett informed. There once was a man from Nantucket. He threw up his hands and said, fuck it. I'm a bit different from the rest of the group, in the sense that I mainly write poetry, Jonathan said. I could read you a poem if you like I wrote this week. Farmer's crops blowing in the wind, a cursed man who believed and he had sinned. Walking amongst the atmosphere, the man lets go of his problems and relinquishes his fear. Nice, Kelsey said, although her tone was a quite bit dismissive. I write pop songs, and this week I wrote myself a self-empowered track. The chorus goes like this. Adore me, don't you want to explore me? You like it when I give you hot love. You know you can never get enough. For whatever reason, Luna looked like she was about to be sick, and Foreign looked a bit annoyed. That genetic over-sexualized crap, admittedly, wasn't even the slightest bit creative to Dusk either. Given that there was millions of songs like that, but she wasn't going to get fully huffed about how unoriginal it was. Personally, Dusk still thought it was miles better than that entry crap that Brett came up with. Quite frankly, Dusk was just grateful that Dawn and the others had taken the time to little share about their work. It was cool being connected to other songwriters, and she found it fascinating to hear about someone else's work for a change. The rest of the meeting had been very casual. Everybody just chanted some more about songwriting, and after about an hour, everyone started saying goodbyes. Thanks for coming and talking with us, girls, Dawn appreciated. You're welcome to come back to a meeting anytime. Honestly, you girls seem chill, and I'd love to have a talk with you guys more about songwriting sometime. Yeah, I'd love to do that as well, Dusk replied. It'd be great to come back to another meeting. Actually, do you have any plans tomorrow? Dawn inquired. Julia just mentioned and she met you at Haley's. I always go there every morning to get a cup, so would you like to meet there tomorrow, let's say at 10? I've got plans tomorrow, so I won't be able to make it. Sorry about that, Foreign apologized. Yeah, I'd love to, but I'm also really busy tomorrow. I'm really sorry, Luna added. Dusk found Foreign and Luna's remarks very strange, but they pretty much did everything together, and she knew nothing about them was being busy at 10. Regardless, Dusk's heart jumped at the opportunity ran out and potential new friend. Given that she hadn't done it in years, she needed a distraction from music anyway. Yeah, 10 definitely works for me, Dusk eagerly replied. Foreign and Dusk had stayed about an hour and had left a little after 9. After talking had died down and people started saying they needed to head home, Dusk drove the soccer mom van this time while Foreign sat in the passenger seat. So what did you think about the meeting? Dusk inquired. I thought it was incredible. I wasn't sure about showing up to a gathering amateur songwriters, but it was actually pretty cool. It was alright, Foreign admitted. Yeah, I agree with Foreign, Luna said cautiously. I didn't love it. Now, Dusk was convinced that she wasn't imagining things. Foreign and Luna were really being weird for some reason. Just alright? Dusk's tone was a little surprised. You've been acting weird all night. You two never do anything on Saturday mornings except sleep in and leisurely breakfast. So, I don't know why you told her you had plans. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be weird, Thorne apologized. It's just, I don't know how to say this, since you don't seem to share my opinion here, but don't those people seem a little cool? Dusk filled the blank for her. Yeah. I said mean. Thorne's tone was a bit more firm now. If Dusk's complimenting give Thorne a bit of confidence to admit her real opinion. Yeah, sorry, Dusk, but I don't like that stuff they were saying about Mayor Corey, Luna added. Dusk was admittedly quite shocked with Dusk's opinion of Mayor Corey had drastically decreased in the passing day. So she had no idea how Thorne and Luna could make the environment-hating guy. You mean you're okay with him destroying the park? Of course not, Thorne argued. Her tone was getting feisty now. Thorne quickly jumped into the conversation and added her input as well, seemingly equally as feisty as Luna. We've known Mayor Corey since we were kids, and he's a nice guy. I don't know what his deal is with the oil pipeline, but I don't agree with it either. But even if we know his motivation behind it, maybe it's not even his decision. And maybe the townspeople voted it, or some company paid the city to do it. I don't know if Mayor Corey was the one directly responsible for implementing the pipeline. Then I'm with you on being upset with him, but I don't even know that yet. We're just going off the vague remark about the construction worker about telling the mayor. How does him killing all those animals right? Dusk's tone became increasingly agitated as well. It doesn't, Thorne snapped. What I'm trying to say is that there's a difference between supporting a cause and taking out your aggression on a specific person. That's why that shit Dayton was saying about dumping the oil on Mayor Corey's head doesn't sit right with me. It's not constructive or anything. It's just taking out anger on the vitriol about the situation and redirecting that aggression to a person. Same with calling him an old Caldiger, Luna chimed in. They don't even know yet. They're just making assumptions about him for no reason. Well, I don't agree, Dusk said. Mayor Corey involved somehow, and I think less of him for it. Fine, but we all support the same cause. I don't agree what he's doing on the power trip without knowing the full story is right. Thorne disagreed. And besides that comments about Mayor Corey, I didn't like how Dawn was acting superior to us because we didn't write anything this week, Luna mentioned. Exactly, Thorne agreed. It's not like we have to be writing constantly. It's okay to write more some weeks and less, but there's no requirement that we have to write a song every week like that group does. Well, it's just you two being sensitive. They were being honest with you, Dusk shrugged. She did admittedly find Dawn's remarks to be a little blunt, but at this point she was argumentative mode after Thorne and Luna were railing on them for their Mayor Corey remarks. If the mayor somehow was responsible for the oil pipeline, it then would have full responsibility. You could have excluded some of the ones from the critique just because you liked them. Standing up against the power meant then excluding all your collective anger and fighting back against anyone in your way. I don't know. I like the idea of being part of the songwriting group, but it's just the group gives off a little bit excruciating vibes to me, Thorne admitted. They're overly blunt and seem to be going on a power trip by putting the others down. Dayton and Kelsey especially, Luna called out. Kelsey seems to be vain and more super full of herself, and Dayton inviting us to share something more like a challenging more to include us. I don't think I'll be going back. Nor will I, Thorne defiantly said. I like the idea of being connected with other songwriters, but I don't feel like we belong there. Well, I'll be returning. Dusk crossed their arms. They seemed like a great group to me, and I fit in. So I'll be meeting with Dawn for coffee tomorrow and going to next week's meeting. Dusk was bummed out that Thorne and Luna were being such wet blankets, but as far as she was concerned, this seemed like an awesome community of people, and this was the kind of people thing she was looking forward to getting involved in, so she had to focus on besides just worrying about music all the time. She could wait to hopefully get to know them better, regardless of what Thorne or Luna's thoughts were.